From Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, motorists stranded as flood cuts off Bauchi-Gumby highway. PRP presidential candidate predicts massive participation in 2023 elections. NGX suspends trading in shares of Ardova, Royal Exchange, 7 others. And on the foreign scene, at least 5 killed in magnitude 6.1 earthquake in southern Iran. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Hour. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Dozens of travelers from the northeast are stranded along Gumby-Bauchi Road after a bridge linking Gumby and Bauchi states collapsed at the entrance of Bara village. The collapsed bridge, which is about 42 kilometers away from Gumby city, has plunged people into untold hardship following limited services. Ibrahim Ismail was there and now reports.
This is the only road that links Adamawa, Borno, Gombe, Taraba, Yobe, and Bauchi states in northeast Nigeria. It is a major road for vehicles traveling to the country's capital, Abuja. Due to a heavy downpour last Thursday, the bridge collapsed and people are feeling the effect. Malam Abdul Karim is from Lariski village. His daughter is severely ill but couldn't take her to hospital on time. The girl is sick. We want to take her to the hospital, but no access road, and authorities should use their positions to repair it. Fear Allah and repair this road. Please, this is my message. We are in hardship. Other stranded passengers also share their sad experiences.
Seriously, it has affected my plan because financially I am. You can see how the thing is. Financially, I'm not that buoyant, but we just had to do it. People carrying load for you, you had to pay them. Just like the boy I carried now, we have to pay him something. So it has really affected my plan. But we pray that God help the government to see the ensure. I know this government is a government that is ready to help, so they should just see what they can do to ensure they help.
My plan is to go to Abuja now. I'm stranded. I don't know that the situation here is like this. Somebody just called me and told me that this is what is happening at Lariski, or what's the name of the village, I don't know. Okay. We stopped at Gombe over 2 hours. We don't know the condition of this place, but look at where we found ourselves now, in a critical condition.
Now I'm going to remove my shoe and my trouser before I cross. You can pay money, 500, 700, 1,000 before you cross. So I'm begging for our government to do something about this route, emergency.
The Nigeria Union of Journalists, NUJ, said the road collapse between Gombe and Bauchi will have socio-economic consequences on the people.
The company handling this road, I doubt if they have able capacity to handle this kind of project. And solution to this problem is let government come up with a gigantic project of a bridge from end to end, whereby the water or whatever will follow under the bridge and move around. Unless if government did that, we'll continue to be having such challenges all the time.
A section of the passengers who can afford pay workers to help them cross the bridge. On the other part of the road, construction workers could be spotted trying to fix the problem. However, people say they are not satisfied with the capacity of the company handling the project, calling on Bauchi, Gombe, and the federal government to intervene. Due to the collapse of the bridge, the Gombe-Bauchi road that used to be very busy is presently deserted. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
And scores of children were allegedly found in an underground apartment of a church in the Valentino area of Ondo Town, Ondo State, on Friday evening. Sources say the children who were allegedly kidnapped and kept in the underground apartment of the church were over 50, adding that police had rescued them and arrested the pastor and some members of the church. In a viral video, the children were seen in a patrol vehicle of the police who took them to the police station. When contacted, the State Police Public Relations Officer of the State Command, Fumilayo Odunlami, said the victims had been taken to the Akure headquarters of the command. Meanwhile, one of the Chibok schoolgirls abducted by Boko Haram terrorists on April 14, 2014, has shared how she escaped from captivity after 8 years. Having fled the terrorist enclave in Borno State, she was eventually discovered by troops of the Nigerian army on June 29th. 2 days after, she addressed journalists where she narrated her ordeal in the hands of the terrorists. The victim, who gave her name as Ruth Beatrice, said she had to trek for 3 days in the Sambisa forest before help came her way through the troops of the 21 Armored Brigade, Bama. According to Ruth, her husband was killed by an IED while he was trying to plant a bomb.
I came from Sambisa. I was taken there from GSS Chibok in 2014. We were 203 in April 2014. The rest of the girls are in Sambisa. The father of my son is dead. He died 2 years ago. He was a bomb technician and went to plant one when it exploded and killed him. I left the forest at 4 a.m. 3 days ago. I took food that was able to sustain me and the baby throughout the journey.
And no fewer than 40 bakeries have shut down in the Federal Capital Territory over the cost of production, multiple taxation and hike in electricity tariff. The bakeries that have closed down are Abume Bakery Limited, Lugbe, Hamdallah Bakery, Kuje, Harmony Bite Bakery, Karu, Dawi Delight Bakery Limited, Kubwa. Others include Merit Baker, Pape, Funez Baker, Orozo, Sly Bakery, and Wuse Zone 2, among others. Ishaq Abdul Karim, the chairman, Abuja Master Bakers FCT, said it was becoming increasingly disturbing that bakeries in Abuja could no longer cope with the high cost of production. He called on the federal government to quickly intervene and check agencies of government frustrating the bakery business. And now to politics, where the People's Redemption Party presidential candidate for the 2023 general elections, Kola Abiola, is optimistic that the 2023 elections will record a mass turnout of voters in the history of the country. Appearing on Trust TV program Daily Politics, Kola, the son of the late MKO Abiola, also calls on President Muhammadu Buhari to hold heads of security agencies accountable for rising cases of security breaches in the country.
I think first it's all about the determination and the will to conduct true elections. The elections we've had in the past has systematically alienated the voter. Okay. The voter hasn't counted much. A lot of our youth, the younger demographics, have always complained that they were never inclusive of the process. And even when they try to vote, their votes don't count. I have been an advocate in the last 2 years to drum up the fact that without that youth, we will not be able to change the electoral process in Nigeria. And thank God, to date, we're all fully aware there's a huge drive to register. And I suspect and I believe that the 2023 election will have the highest voter turnout in the history of Nigeria. There's a need for accountability. The biggest problem I think we've had to date is that nobody has been held accountable for anything. So we have attacks, we have negligence, we have irresponsible decision-making from authority, but nobody has ever been held responsible. We've had issues where so-called finances have been identified and nothing has been done. I don't know why that should be the case, but that's what it is. So the minute we start nipping it and holding people responsible, I think things will change.
Traditional and religious leaders in Osun State have charged security agencies to buckle up and be proactive in dealing with potential security threats in the state. The Aragbiji of Iragbiji, Oba Abdul Rashid Olabom, said, and president of Osun Muslim community, Alhaji Mustafa Olawi, reiterated the need to promote and ensure peace in the state as residents gear up for the July 16th governorship election. They offered prayers for peace and protection in the state before, during, and after the election. Hamid Oyegbadi filed in this report.
It is about 2 weeks until the July 16 governorship election in Osun State, and the atmosphere is politically tense. Many people are banking on the belief that since Osun is the most peaceful state in Nigeria, electoral violence may not characterize the poll. Traditional rulers and religious leaders are not taking it for granted. They are intensifying prayers and stepping up the advocacy and campaign for peace. They converged at the Secretary of Osun State Muslim community on Saturday, where they prayed for peace in the state before and after the election. The Arabiji of Irabiji, Oba Abdurrashid Olabumi, called on security agencies to step up their games and be on top of the security situation.
The essence of government is to ensure peace, security and welfare for citizens of the country. So it is very important that everybody, wherever you are, whatever position you hold in society, we should always crave and work towards peace and security in our environment. Today, the Muslim community of Osun is trying to recognize prominent personalities.
The president of Osun State Muslim community, Alhaji Mustafa Olawuyi, said the chief imam of Osun State, Sheikh Musa Animashau, has mandated all Muslim clerics and imams to keep advocating for peace ahead of the elections.
Islam is peace and nothing should disturb that peace. And we've reached out to our politicians. In this office, we have had contacts, interactions with gubernatorial aspirants. Nearly every one of them has attended there, and they signed memorandum of understanding to make sure that there is peace before, during, and after the election.
The state governor, Alhaji Adigboiga Oyetola, who was represented by his special advisor on education, Alhaji Jamiu Olaumi, said the governor remains committed for peace in the state and appealed to all residents to be peace ambassadors at this crucial period in the history of the state.
We are committed to peace. We are going to sustain it. We have equal ourselves to it as a task, and by the grace of God, even at different debates, fora, and meeting with traditional rulers, the governor has committed himself to issues of peace and security.
With the various moves by stakeholders in the state towards peace ahead of the governorship election on July 16th, it is expected that residents will conduct themselves peacefully and vote for candidates of their choice.
Meanwhile, political observers in Nigeria are concerned that counterproductive strategies used by politicians to outsmart their opponents will still play out in the 2023 elections. They believe that the high level of poverty in the country will make the electorate susceptible to vote buyers and influence peddlers, as is already playing out. Trust TV's Nana Mohammed has details of the story.
Over the years, Nigerian political landscape has been polarized by the use of money to buy votes and various political strategies aimed at getting ahead of opponents. As Nigeria enters a heated political season, such strategies have not changed, as evidenced by the fact that winning an elective position in the country is difficult or almost impossible without lots of money or influence. This, citizens believe, is why the country is plagued by bad leadership, underdevelopment, and high level of ethno-religious crises. As the 2023 elections approaches, young Nigerians have become more involved in politics, as is demonstrated by the viral campaigns for people to register and collect their PVCs. Bethni Afulabe, a political scientist, is skeptical. He believes some of the electorate may be rushing to register and collect their PVCs because of the open floating of proceeds from vote buying by some Nigerians on social media.
Then in another way, it might be as a result of what we saw in Ekiti State, that people were giving money and they were flaunting it on social media, that, well, I've sold my vote, I've gotten this amount of money. So that is enough to wake up the spirit of Nigerian youth to say, oh, so if I get my voter's card, I will be able to sell it for certain amount of money.
On the other hand, stakeholders stress that it is only when concerted efforts are made to eradicate the high level of poverty in the country that the temptation of selling votes to the highest bidder will be overcome.
The elites, those who can afford 3 square meals comfortably, those who have jobs, those who are working and are not seriously impoverished by the economic situations we have in the country, have the capacity to upturn the situation. If we have to rely on those who are completely in very rural areas, very impoverished Nigerians who are always enthusiastic about voting, if we leave it to them, we are going to still have politicians take advantage of this stomach infrastructure.
Besides, registering and collecting of PVCs is just a process and does not signify a change in the attitudes of the electorate. It is left to Nigerians to decide to end the trend and counter age-long strategies of oppression, intimidation, and division by the rich political class. Nana Muhammad, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And still talking politics, presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, did not meet with Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike in France, a spokesman said on Friday. Reports had emerged online about a purported meeting between Tinubu and Wike, a chieftain of the opposition party, the People's Democratic Party. But a statement signed by a spokesperson of the Tinubu media office, Tunde Rahman, described the report as fake. Meanwhile, Northern Women Caucus of the All Progressive Congress APC has warned members against election violence in the forthcoming 2023 elections. The group issued the warning while inaugurating its North Central PVC registration, collection and women inclusion in governance advocacy in Lafia. The report.
Addressing the women group in Lafia, the national coordinator of the group, Zainab Ibrahim, stated that they were determined to tour the 13 local government areas of the state and other states in the North Central zone to encourage women to register for their PVCs.
To launch a campaign that is created to orient Nigerian women on the need to register and obtain their PVCs, desist from engaging in election violence, and contribute their quota towards the smooth and overwhelming victory of our party, the ruling party, and the greatest party in Africa, the APC.
Also speaking, the APC North Central women leader, Zara Audu, explained that it was imperative for women to actively participate in politics in order to create a gender balance in governance. Earlier, the First Lady of Nasarawa State, Salifat Abdullahi Sule, promised to support the women to ensure that they exercise their franchise during the 2023 elections.
And the Zamfara State chapter of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has faulted the directive of Governor Bello Mohammed to people of the state to own guns for self-defense against bandits. The State PDP Secretary, Farouk Ahmed, stated the party's position on the matter while addressing journalists in Gusau, the state capital, on the lingering insecurity in Zamfara State. The report.
The decision of Governor Bello Mohammed of Zamfara State for residents to bear arms to defend themselves against bandits in the state does not augur well with the state chapter of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, as it warns that the directive could lead to further anarchy and chaos in the state. The State Secretary of the party, Farouk Ahmed, maintained that it was the constitutional responsibility of the state and federal governments to protect the lives and property of the citizens. Ahmed claimed that the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC-led federal government's failure left Governor Bello Mohammed with no option but to resort to such action.
The governor knows that it is not possible for civilians to bear firearms, especially people who are not allowed by law to bear firearms for self-defense. His administration met vigilante popular known as Siansake who were recruited by the previous administration in the state, and they were doing well in the area of protecting their communities. But his government clamped down on them and stopped their operation. The Bello Muhammad-led administration has not attacked bandits who terrorize people the way it attacked vigilante operators in the state. How many rural dwellers can afford to buy a gun, especially now that the people have been impoverished by the activities of the terrorists? Even if they have the money, they don't have the right to bear arms because it is only security agencies that have the right to bear arms.
The state PDP secretary, Farouk Ahmed, therefore called on security agencies to be proactive and stop the Zamfara state governor from executing the plan.
You're watching Trust TV News Hour. And still to come on the news, story of 11-year-old Maiduguri inventor. Details of this and more after the break. Do stay with us.
As the 2023 elections draw near, remember, evil prospers when good men and women only wish for peace, but never take a step to make peaceful elections happen. Are you a father? Are you a mother? What are you saying to your children as elections approach? Have you warned them not to let themselves be used to cause violence? Have you explained to them what the consequences of electoral violence might be? Do your part to make peaceful elections happen. Talk to your children. Protect them from unscrupulous politicians who want to put them in harm's way, while their own children are comfortable at home, within and outside the country. Let's join hands to make 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NOAA.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Hour. Now another look at our top stories. Motorists stranded as flood cuts off Bauchi-Gumby highway. And PRP presidential candidate predicts massive participation in 2023 election. And in other news, Christian and Muslim faithful in Kachia local government area of southern Kaduna on Saturday participated in the clearing of the Kachia Eid ground ahead of the Eid al-Kabir celebration. The faithful of both religions say the gesture will further strengthen the bond between them and also keep to address the security challenges bedeviling the area and the state at large. The report.
This is Kachia Eid ground, where Muslim faithfuls observe their Eid prayer annually. With barely a week to the Eid al-Kabir celebration, the Eid ground is overgrown with grass due to rainfall. Daniel Bitrus and Jessica Aquila are among the Christians that participated in clearing the Eid ground.
I felt it's not only time for us to preach peace by weight, rather we should put it into practice, because we felt by so doing it's going to create a unity among people of different religion, because all of us, we didn't create ourselves to be in religion we are serving. Rather, God chose us to be part of that religion just for the purpose of serving Him.
By bringing this as community members or as to the two religions coming together to help in clearing the Eid ground, we believe this will contribute more to peaceful coexistence.
The Muslim community in Kachia says the gesture will further foster peace and unity among faithful of different religions. What we are doing here will foster unity and love among people of different religions. Southern Kaduna has been suffering from community clashes, banditry, farmers' herders crisis, among others. However, according to Daniel Bitrus, if people of the area come together, they will fight their common enemy, which is insecurity.
If we come together to form a synergy as people of Southern Kaduna, then we can be able to fight anything that is attacking us externally. Because as a people, we are facing with common challenges. Insecurity has become order of the day. And this insecurity is affecting both Muslim and Christian.
The adherent of the two religious further call on communities in Kaduna State to promote peaceful coexistence among them through such gesture.
Meanwhile, a large number of Katsina State intending pilgrims are anxiously waiting for their visas. Just a few days to the official closure of King Abdul Aziz International Airport, Jeddah. Abdullahi Yamadi was at the Katsina State Pilgrims Camp and now has this for Trust TV.
Officials of the Katsina State Pilgrims Welfare Board are making last-minute arrangements ahead of the fourth airlift, which is expected any moment from now. Already, about 1,500 state pilgrims have been airlifted on the first, second, and third flights. Worried by the delay in the issuance of visa, these intending pilgrims are appealing to authorities to, as a matter of urgency, resolve the problem to allow them perform the pilgrimage. You can see our desperation. I was here since last week, all in the bid to be airlifted to Saudi Arabia, but yet nothing is done about it. Please, let the National Hajj Commission and all authorities concerned know this.
To an dan samu tsaiko na zuwan visa ne ba laifin ma'aikatan mu bane.
The executive director and other principal officers are currently in Abuja to sort the issues out, but I can tell you, we are not happy with the visa issuing body at all.
Kan bin sawun abun domin bin diddigin gano matsalas.
They are however optimistic that officials of the State Pilgrims Welfare Board are doing what it takes to address their concerns. One of the airline officials, Tambaba Custom, is giving assurances that the airline is waiting for the relevant agencies to assemble the pilgrims for airlift.
So now I think we are waiting for the visa. If the visa is okay this afternoon, inshallah, in the evening we call them. Then we start processing in the night. Possibly in the morning, then we take up.
Observers say the visa issuing body needs to be more proactive to allow Nigeria's intending pilgrims perform this year's Hajj. Beyond this, new strategies should be adopted to prevent reoccurrence of this ugly trend. Abdullahi Izmayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
The Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, has threatened to drag the management of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority to court over its purported claims on the payment of 74 billion naira transport claims to marketers. The management of NMDPRA on Wednesday said it had paid marketers 74 billion naira within the past 7 months. The chairman of IPMAN Northern Chapter, Bashir Dammalang, who made the threat while briefing journalists in Kano, said the claim was not true, noting that IPMAN members were not paid unless the payment was made to ghost marketers. The IPMAN chairman challenged the management of the NMDPRA to come up with the names of all marketers who were paid to prove their claims. Dammalang said based on the investigation conducted by IPMAN, it was discovered that the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation had recently released over 70 billion naira to the agency to pay marketers, which had yet to be paid. The federal government has inaugurated the White Paper Committee on Review of Parastatals, Agencies and Commissions created since 2014 to date. The committee is to come up with the white paper reports of the committees inaugurated by the federal government in November 2021. Performing the inauguration in Abuja, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, explained that the federal government came up with 2 other committees due to the inability to implement the Oronshaya report. Responding on behalf of the committee members, a former head of the Civil Service of the Federation and chairman of the committee, Dr. Ebele Okeke, appreciated the federal government for the honor of selecting them for the task and pledged to ensure the implementation of the reports.
One of such efforts was the constitution of the Committee on the Restructuring and Rationalization of Federal Government Parastatals, Commissions and Agencies on the 18th of August 2011, chaired by the former head of service, Mr. Steve Orasel. The committee submitted its report on the 16th April 2012 with various recommendations such as abolition, reduction, merger, and reversion of some of the agencies to departments and ministries.
And since then, more and more agencies, commissions, parastatals are being set up. And it's actually defeating the purpose for which government set up the Orosaya report. And that is why now government wants us to take a good look and make sure that we finish and have a review the report on the new parastatals and agencies.
Now, proper management of agricultural statistics will drastically reduce the rate of unemployment in the country. Statistician General of the Federation, Adeyomi Adenora, stated this during a training of enumerators for the agricultural census in Lafia, Nasarawa State. Abubakar Abdullahi sent in this report as presented from our studio.
The Statistician General of the Federation, who was represented by the head of office in Nasarawa State, Ben Benjamin, said the lack of census for about 2 decades in the agricultural sector affect planning not only in the sector but others. He said the aim is to obtain the basic data on the structures of agriculture in the country.
We will finish the training on Sunday. Hopefully, if everything goes well, by Monday they should be in the field, and it will take up to 50 days.
While calling on the state government to support the program, he advised the trainee to properly use the knowledge acquired while on the field. On this part, the acting statistician general Nasarawa State, Isa Usama, said the state is determined to ensure the existence of robust and reliable statistics for societal development.
Census of agriculture data will be used by all those who serve farmers and rural communities, federal, state, and local government, agribusiness, trade associations, and many others.
He urged the enumerators to put in their best by getting acquired data from the field. Also speaking, Programs Monitor, State Agricultural Development Program, Dogara Emmanuel, said the state, like other parts of the country, needs data for proper planning and warns the enumerators against gathering false information.
Anything that you do not get it now, once you go to the field, you go and list things up, and you are not going to get what was supposed to.
52 officers are expected to carry out the enumeration exercise in the state, while over 3,000 personnel will be engaged across the nation.
Borno State has been in total blackout for over 1 year. This has affected businesses and economic activities in the state capital, Maiduguri. However, the power outage inspired an 11-year-old boy to invent a mini generator that can power devices and bulbs. The report.
Maiduguri for the past 2 years has continued to experience partial electricity supply around some areas of the metropolis. The power transmission failure was caused by terrorists and vandalizers who destroyed electrical installations along Damaturu-Maiduguri Road. Efforts by the government to fix the damages proved abortive, prompting the government to look towards other sources which are yet to fully materialize. Despite these challenges, the government remains hopeful.
Inshallah, on or before the end of this year, we shall commission the Maiduguri mega power station by NNPC. We are also making efforts to see how The destroyed 133 kVA power supply is restored. It's being restored within the shortest possible time. Again, we are making another effort in ensuring that double circuit 33 kVA line from Damaturu to Maiduguri will also be completed in the next 6 months.
The blackout inspired Muhammad Komi to invent a mini generator that can power light bulbs and charge few devices. The JSS1 student explained that he fabricated the mini generator in 3 weeks to provide electricity for his home.
Where did you learn these things?
I'm learning from myself. Okay. My own idea.
Like were you reading somewhere or you just came up with it on your own?
No, I came it with my own.
Like now, what does it charge?
He can charge a fan and he can charge a phone, like small phone.
The young inventor has plans to fabricate a machine that can power the whole house. He said he wants to become an electrical engineer to help tackle the power problem in Nigeria.
I'm planning to do something. I want to make something free energy, that's using plug.
What would this new one be doing?
He can use to power a TV, decoder, fridge.
But Muhammad Komi's dreams can only turn to reality if the government supports his goals in life.
And the National Population Commission will use electronic devices during its trial census on the 30th of July. A federal commissioner of the population body, Bala Banye, revealed this after a stakeholder meeting in Daura, Katsina State. Abdullahi Yamadi tells us more.
Daura local government has been selected in Katsina State as one of the 7 local government areas in each of the states of the Northwest Zone where the trial census will be conducted.
As you are aware, His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, acting on the advice of the National Council of States, graciously approved the conduct of the trial census for June 2022 and the next population housing census in April 2023. This approval underscores the President's commitment towards planned and sustainable development of the country.
The trial census is expected to test run the equipment that will be used during the proper exercise in April 2023. The idea is also to ensure that all facilities that will be used during the process are functional and that ultimately the census will be acceptable.
Your incisive reporting of the census preparatory activities so far has placed the 2023 census at the center of national discourse, thereby mobilizing Nigerians for its successful conduct. As the Commission takes the next crucial steps towards the 2023 census, the Commission will continue to count on the collaboration and partnership of the Nigerian media.
However, the National Population Commission admits that the role of stakeholders in ensuring smooth conduct of the trial census is key. It is, therefore, calling for early planning and effective coverage during the exercise.
Consequent upon this approval, the Commission intensified preparatory activities, deploying technological innovations on a massive scale to conduct a truly scientific census that will not only be accurate and reliable, but also transparent and accessible to all Nigerians.
Interested applicants from Katsina State can partake in the exercise by applying through the Commission's portal, as already over 7,000 ad hoc staff have been trained for the national assignment. The trial census is expected to serve as a litmus test to the April 2023 national head count. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
And a look at health now, where the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has confirmed 347 new cases of COVID-19, with Lagos topping the list of states. Data from the NCDC late Friday showed that new infections were reported in 7 states and the Federal Capital Territory. Lagos had 265 cases, a wide margin from Imo, which is second highest number of cases with 47 infections. Other states with fresh cases are Rivers with 15, Edo 11, FCT with 4, Akwa Ibom 2, Plateau also with 2, and Bayelsa with 1. The new cases take the country's total infections to 257,637 and the death toll to 3,144. You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. We'll take a short break, and when we return, the news continues. Stay with us. Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Hour. The Nigerian Exchange Limited has suspended trading on the shares of Ardova, Royal Exchange, and 7 other quoted companies for failure to file their accounts as required by market regulators. The 7 companies are Niger Insurance, CNI Leasing, Africa Alliance Insurance, Coronation Insurance, EcoCorp, Premier Paints, and Mutual Benefits Assurance. The suspension, which took effect from July 1, 2022, implies that there will be no price movement on the shares because the company's investors will no longer trade on their stocks. A circular issued by the NGX explained that the affected firms were slammed for failing to file their audited financial statements for the year ended December 31st, 2021. And Germany has signed an agreement to begin sending hundreds of Benin bronzes back to the federal government, rubber stamping the biggest effort yet by a European country to return the looted artworks. Foreign Minister Lena Baerbock and Culture Minister Claudia Roth signed the deal with their Nigerian counterparts in Berlin after Germany first announced that it would begin returning the bronzes last year. Minister of Culture Lai Mohammed thanked the Germans for taking the lead in correcting the wrongs of the past, hailing it as a dawn of a new era in cooperation. Germany had around 1,100 of the 16th to 18th century artifacts split between some 20 museums, with the biggest collection held by the Ethnological Museum in Berlin, which has 440, considered the most important collection outside London's British Museum. President Muhammadu Buhari says Portugal should consider Nigeria as a valued and trusted partner in Africa, which is ready to fill the natural gas gaps in Europe predicated by the current Russian-Ukrainian war. The president's message was delivered at the Presidential Palace in Lisbon, Portugal, as he identified areas of cooperation between Nigeria and Portugal. In this report, Kende Amodu looks at the areas of cooperation identified by both countries.
Portugal is a country of 10.6 million people, covering an area of just over 55,200 square miles. Compared to the majority of Western Europe and the developed world, Portugal ranks as one of the less advanced countries, appearing in 34th place on the UN Human Development Index. Nevertheless, the country is still considered a highly developed state, and it is to this place Nigeria has turned for bilateral cooperation in some key areas.
And of course, with the creation of the African Continental Free Trade Area, Nigeria is now in a position to serve as a hub for Portuguese business, as a gateway to over 50 countries in Africa. And with a population of over 200 million, very young and very dynamic people, Portugal would achieve enormous economies of scale by using Nigeria as a one-stop shop to access the African market.
I feel that in so many sectors, and I could speak also of agriculture, of healthcare, science, the sea, we are wanting to cooperate with you. And we have companies, experienced companies, and centers of excellence to do it.
The current Russian-Ukraine war has exposed Nigeria's comparative advantage in oil and gas, especially as Nigeria is already a major supplier of the product to Portugal. President Buhari believes increased cooperation in oil and gas between the two countries has become vital to avoid crisis in the demand and supply chain.
Nigeria supplies over 50% of the gas that Portugal consumes, so they also need a benefit from the relationship with Nigeria.
Affirming Nigeria's renewed commitment towards the fight against terrorism in the Lake Chad and Sahel region, the president is looking to the Portuguese government for support through intelligence and information sharing, weapons and training of security, and personnel of member states. However, the Nigerian president believes that the establishment of a joint commission will help to promote the full realization of the bilateral relations. Kende Amodu, Trust TV News.
The director, Channel Cultural Center, Abuja, Lee Juda, has called for the promotion of cultural and linguistic diversity to ensure sustainable societies. Juda gave the advice in Abuja at the commemoration of the 2022 International Mother Language Day with the theme Using Technology for Multilingual Learning, Challenges and Opportunities. The report.
The International Mother's Language Day is originally observed on 21st of February yearly to promote awareness of linguistics and cultural diversity and to promote multilingualism. Shuda describes the People's Republic of China and the Federal Republic of Nigeria as multi-ethnic and multilingual countries. He says that the theme of the day will profile ways to unlock the potentials of technology, advance multilingual education, and support the development of quality teaching and learning for all.
To defend our national unity and boost our social progress, we must learn to seek common ground while resolving differences. We must uphold harmony in diversity to create a harmonious world with peaceful development of mankind.
The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, says that the Ministry of Information and Culture had embarked on a series of research and documentation on endangered language over the years. The minister, who was represented by Ifoma Ayaun Taku, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information and Culture, said the purpose was to prevent the nation's intangible rich cultural heritage from going into extinction.
It is necessary to note that language is one of the key aspects of a people's culture. Nigeria being one of a member state of the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, and the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture being the custodian of culture in Nigeria, has put it upon its shoulders to ensure our rich cultural heritage is well preserved with programs such as this one.
The Director General, National Council for Art and Culture, Otumba Rushewe, urged Nigerians to imbibe the spirit of speaking their indigenous language to prevent them from going into extinction.
And language is about 4 major components: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And today, you may not know the connection between this program and culture. Culture is the only thing that goes with you, come with you from your mother's womb, and go back with you to your grave.
Rushewe, who said many people have lost their rich cultural heritage to foreign ones, urged them to emulate citizens of Bangladesh and China who speak their dialect as a way of communication.
Now look at the foreign scene, where at least 5 people have died and dozens of others injured after at least 3 earthquakes with preliminary magnitude of more than 6 hit the province of Hormozgan in southern Iran. 2 of the strongest shocks were registered at magnitude 6.3, but the one that inflicted the most casualties is thought to be an initial magnitude 6.1 quake at a depth of about 10 kilometers below the surface. At least 30 aftershocks were felt in villages and towns near Bandar Abbas, local officials said, adding that tremors were also felt in neighboring United Arab Emirates. The quakes sent thousands of people into the streets, where they spent the rest of the night. Meanwhile, powerful explosions rocked the Ukrainian city of Mykolaiv earlier Saturday. The mayor said a day after authorities said at least 21 people were killed when Russian missiles struck an apartment building near the Black Sea port of Odessa. Air raid sirens sounded across the Mykolaiv region, which borders the vital port of Odessa, before the blasts. The explosions flattened part of an apartment building while residents slept on Friday, another in a series of what Ukraine says are Russian missile attacks aimed at civilians. In his nightly video address on Friday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky denounced these strikes as conscious, deliberately targeted Russian terror and not some sort of error or coincidental missile attack. And in sports, the Professional Footballers Association of Nigeria, eggheads, on Friday endorsed former Super Eagles striker Benedict Akpegbu as replacement for Nigeria Football Federation President Amaju Pinnick. The Warri-born FIFA Council member had on several fora declared that he will not contest for the same position he is holding. 47-year-old Akpegbu at the flag-off ceremony was the first ex-player endorsed by the 5 top executives of the Players' Union. Elated Akpegbu stated that it is high time players take charge of what belongs to them from the politicians. And in cycling, the Confederation of African Cycling says it is set to organize a capacity-building training for coaches, commissaries and mechanics in Abuja. The training, scheduled to hold from July 8th to 13th, is part of activities lined up ahead of Africa Cup Track Championship in Abuja.
CAC is organizing.
Is expected to be held from July 14th to 17th in the velodrome of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja. The president of the Cycling Federation of Nigeria, Gian Domenico Massari, said that the goal of the camp is to boost the capacity and the standard of the coaches to train the athletes.
Confederation of African Cycling, 2 very major courses to raise the standard of even the other professional, component of the sport. One is mechanics level 2, and the other is it will be coach level 2. Now, not only it will be for Nigerian and other country. In fact, other country they will send delegates that they will participate to these courses. The people that they will participating must have the level 1 certificate already. So we have our own, and the other they are coming from other country they will have. So it will be another opportunity to raise the standard, because it's important in any things raising the standard, maintaining the standard and raising. Just is a sort of capacity building Capacity building is not only limited to the athlete. The athletes are very important, but all other professional figures that are paramount for the success of the sport.
And in the English Premiership, Everton have completed their first signing of the summer transfer window after confirming the arrival of Burnley defender James Tarkowski. The England international becomes Frank Lampard's first summer signing after running down his contract at Turf Moor. The 29-year-old could not stop Burnley from suffering relegation to the Championship last season, but will remain in the Premier League after signing up with Frank Lampard at Goodison Park. And on a lighter note, before we go, former President Olusegun Obasanjo stunned residents of Abuja, Osun State on Saturday when he turned himself into a commercial tricycle rider, popularly called keke, picking and dropping passengers across the capital. Obasanjo started the trip from the Moshood Abiola Way end of the road near the Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation mega station. The former president, dressed in his native Yoruba attire with a fez cap, was spotted carrying passengers from the takeoff spot and heading towards the end of the popular Kuto market in the town. The development, part of activities to mark his 85th birthday, excited residents, many of whom ran after his keke, eagerly attempting to board and ride with him. Last month, Obasanjo donated 85 tricycles to young people across the country, also as part of activities to mark his birthday. And with that, we wrap up Trust TV News Hour for tonight. For more news, you can subscribe and follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for watching.